Thank you. So welcome everyone. My name is Corinne Squire, and I am a professor at Bristol University. And with many other colleagues, we arrange this program called the Olive Program for people who are from refugee backgrounds or asylum seeker backgrounds and who want to go to university or thinking about going to university, maybe sometime in the future, maybe several years in the future even. So what I'm going to do first is just talk about the program a little bit, give you some background to the program. And then at 10 o'clock, my colleague, Dr. Amir Raki, who is a lecturer at Liverpool University, is going to come online and take the first class in routes to university, education, training, and employment. He is mainly going to talk about ways to go to university. It may not be that you are going to do this now. It's something that you can think about for the future, maybe, for some of you. Some people may be at the point where they might be able to do this now. So, okay, first of all, I'm just going to share my screen so that we can start the introduction session. Okay, so as you know, this is the Olive Open Learning Initiative. Olive stands for Open Learning Initiative. If you would like, in the chat, you can say a few words about yourself in the chat. Just introduce yourself if you would like to do that. You can see a chat button at the bottom of your screen. And if you'd like, I'm just writing something now. Just to practice using this. We use the chat quite a lot during the classes, so it's a good way to kind of practice that. Okay, so today we are going to talk about the Olive Program. I'm going to talk about the Olive Program, the schedule of the program, what the tutors will do, and then also some guidelines about how we will all try to work within this program. And then hopefully we can have a bit of time for student introductions as well. We can see one in the chat already. Oh, hi, we have Samia, who is in Leeds. Nice to see you there. And also Abbas Adam Harun. Good to see you too, Abbas. Okay, so let's go to the next slide if I can. So the Olive Program is the Open Learning Initiative, as I said. So Open Learning Initiative are the initials that lead to the word Olive. It supports people from refugee and migrant backgrounds who are thinking of going to university. It can be for somebody who is thinking of going to university next year or long in the future or in a few years, or maybe they are not sure about university. Maybe they think it could be for them and maybe it may not be for them. It's for all of those people. It's a free program. It's open to everyone. It's inclusive to everyone. And we also want to start from the perspective, not that you need some things in order to go to university, but we want to start from your strengths, your background already, the things that you know, the experience you've had in education and in work, because many people come to this program, they already have a lot of background. It's just a question of how that is going to translate into them living and working in the UK, how those two things are going to fit together. The Olive Program has run across Europe, actually, in different countries. It's run in Greece at one point, in Germany, in Austria, in Hungary, and in the UK since 2016. Currently, it is running in the UK with us, and then also in Hungary, in a kind of community-based program, and then also in Germany, in Berlin. And there is a website where you can see more about the Olive Program in the UK, which I have linked to here. You will get these slides after the program also, or after our session today. So you don't have to make notes or something. You can get these slides later. The program we are doing now for you is a 4-week course. It's a short program. But hopefully that's useful for you, because I know some of you are on the move, so you may be 4 weeks in one place at least before you move. if you do move, you are welcome to rejoin. If you move and lose touch or something, you can always get back in touch with us. The course is arranged by Bristol University, but we also have much help from people in other universities, especially Manchester University and London universities. And of course, our teacher, Dr. Amir, who's coming later, is at Liverpool University. And our other teacher, the English teacher who will be working with you tomorrow, Janelle Harriman, she teaches academic English and IELTS, and she also works for the British Council, who you might know runs the IELTS programs. So she has a lot of expertise in that. We have about 60 students, I think, in total coming to this program this time. As you will see from the emails, we have online classes on Monday and Tuesday mornings for 4 weeks. And you'll receive the links for those classes every week. We send them out on a Friday, and then we remind you on the morning before. So you have like on Monday morning, you should get a reminder of the class that's coming today. On Tuesday morning, you get a reminder of the class that's coming on Tuesday with the Zoom link. Somebody has mentioned, several people have mentioned, oh, I can't come to a particular class today, tomorrow, or whatever. So we are recording these classes, and they go onto the Olive YouTube channel, which is just for Olive students. So you will get a link to that channel probably every week. If you have missed something that week, you will then get a link at the end of the week or the beginning of the next week to say, here are the catch-up videos, if you want to go and look for those sessions on catch-up. We also have tutors who work with you one-to-one, and those tutors will work with you on applications for university and scholarship applications if you need to make them. But also they can work with you more generally on a kind of plan that you might have for your education and learning. We are not people who deal in the Olive program. We don't deal a lot with employment because that is not what we know about. We just know about universities and study and so on. We also don't really know about further education, like what happens in colleges. We know a little bit, but we are more specialists in going to university. So if you have other areas that you want to investigate, we will probably refer you to other people who can help in those areas. But the tutors will help you with planning about education, exploring about education, what courses you might like and so on in university, and then also with making applications. If you come to this class or the other class, if you come to the 4 weeks of the program, then you receive just a certificate of attendance from Olive to say that you have been engaging with the program. Okay. It's not an official, it doesn't come with university credits or something, but it's just an official certificate to say we know you engaged and this is what you did. After the program, it's not the end. You will have your tutors to work with for the whole of the year if you want to work with those tutors. We will also have some other sessions, for instance, information sessions from different universities. The first one will be from Bristol University, but they will talk about universities generally. And then we will also have some kind of specialist sessions, seminars, and so on. For instance, one of my colleagues is going to run a session on applications, writing applications. And we'll also follow up with you. Tutors will be in touch with you to find out how things are going with you throughout this academic year. So in the UK, the university year starts in September and it goes through till July, August. It doesn't start in January, like in the Southern Hemisphere very often. University year starts in January. But with us, it starts in September, October. So any questions at the moment? Just if you have a question, come off mic and ask it, or you can put your hand up. Can't see anybody asking questions yet. Okay. Or you can also put a question in the chat if you want to. We will check out the chat later. Oh, look. I'm just checking the chat now because there are a couple of questions there. Thanks for the introductions. It's very nice to hear from you all. Somebody asked about the camera, keeping your camera off. Of course, Gufran, yes, of course, keep your camera off if you, unless you're speaking to us, in which case it's nice to see you, but it's not essential. Hi, Faith, did you want to ask a question? Please just unclick your mic, so unmute your mic so we can hear you.
I want to ask. Okay, thank you.
Hi.
I wanted to ask, do you have some many courses besides English? Sorry,
Faith,
did you hear me?
Not very well. It's very broken up. Something about some courses besides English.
Yeah, I asked, do you have other courses besides English classes?
Well, we only at the moment have a small grant for doing these courses. We are doing the English course and the course helping people to go to university called Routes to University. However, there are two possibilities. We might do a course on IT, a short course on IT and digital skills. And then we might also do an academic seminar course where you read some chapters or papers or articles and have a discussion like you would have in a university seminar. We're going to ask people after these two courses what they are most interested in having. Another possibility would be a kind of conversation class or a writing class. Some of you were part of the creative writing short courses we did earlier. We might do something more like that. What were you thinking of, Faith? What kind of courses were you thinking of? Oh, I'm not hearing you.
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm thinking about any. I just
wanted to know. Okay, thank you. Yeah. Oh, there was a lot of noise. I think that might be Isra. I just muted Isra because of the noise from the background. Isra, did you want to make a comment?
I think that
Hi.
I'm thinking.
Oh, again, we are not having very good sound here. Isra, do you think you can put your comment in the chat if we can't hear you properly? Because of the
okay.
Yeah. Let me just check if we can have a look in the chat. No, okay. Abbas is asking in the chat, is there an IELTS exam? No, we don't do an IELTS exam. And there are two reasons. One is that after 4 classes, you will not be ready.
Yeah, sorry, I want to ask one question.
Okay.
Yeah, me, before I am study only entry 2 is all. Which level now this for course?
This is higher. This is a higher level. But,
yeah.
Okay, this is a good question, Isra. Is that Isra? Yes. Hi. Okay, I'm going to answer Abbas's question first and then Isra's question. Abbas's question is, will there be an IELTS exam at the end of the course? So the answer to that is no, because 4 sessions is too little time to get to an IELTS level for most people. Maybe some people, it's going to be okay. The IELTS and academic English class that you do tomorrow will show you what the IELTS is like and will give you some experience of the different elements, speaking, listening, reading, and writing of that IELTS test. So like with other English classes like ESOL or functional skills, there is writing, reading, listening, and speaking in IELTS. And Jan Harriman will show you those and advise you on that. She will also direct you to practice materials where you can practice by yourselves online. And she also runs an IELTS WhatsApp for people who are preparing for IELTS. But because we can't really, there is no point in saying to everybody, you come to these 4 classes, you are all going to be ready to go take IELTS and pass IELTS, you know, at a good level. We can't really say that, so we don't do the test. We also don't do the test because it is very expensive. And we would have to get a very, very, very big grant if we gave everybody the test. And also, the next point about this is universities do not always need the IELTS test. Sometimes they will have their own test, or they will take a Duolingo test. And we can usually get you a Duolingo test for free. So Duolingo also does a test like IELTS. Some universities will accept it, and it's much, much cheaper. So that's why we don't say to everybody, we're going to pay for an IELTS test for you. Many, many reasons, actually.
I have a small question.
Can I just answer, what was it? Isra, didn't Isra have a question? Okay, well, let me go to Gufran. Gufran, you have one too?
So, yeah, is it going to be like a foundation year or just helping us find our major?
Yeah, it isn't a foundation year. If you're working with your tutors, they will indeed help you to find what course you would like to do. So they will definitely help you with that.
Okay, thank you.
Now, a foundation year, you know, you will do in a university, or you can do what is similar to a foundation year, an access course in a further education college. The access courses are free. The foundation year, you have to take, you have to pay, or you have to take a loan for the foundation year in a university.
Will my tutor be helping me to access these classes? Okay, thank you.
No worries. I think perhaps I should move on, maybe come back to Isra later. I just want to move on because we have fairly limited time and I want to have some time at the end for our questions as well. So let me just show you the schedule, which you already should know, I think, which looks like this. Mondays on these 4 days, online at 10 to 12, there is this course, Pathways to University Education, Training and Employment, and Dr. Raki is teaching that course for you. And then on Tuesdays, October the 21st and 28th, and November the 4th and 11th, there is the Academic English and IELTS class, and that is online 10 to 12 also. And that is being taught by Jan Harriman, who, as I said, also works with the British Council. She has worked with the Olive Programme for many years, though. In fact, both Amir and Jan are very experienced in working with people from refugee and migrant and asylum seeker backgrounds. So they've had a lot of experience. Yeah, I'm going to come back to your question later, Abbas, just so we can go on through the schedule a little bit, and then we'll come back. Okay, information on the tutors. So now, as I said, the Olive tutors work with you for personal statements, which you make for your applications to university and also for scholarship applications. And then they can also work with you. Somebody, can I just ask somebody to mute? Somebody hasn't muted and it will be very helpful. Oh, I think that's great. So the tutors will also work with you if, for instance, you want to do a presentation. We sometimes do some presentations at the end of this short course. And if you would like, we can do that. We have a presentation session at the end. They will also help you if you have interviews with interview practice for universities. And they will also help you if you want to make a kind of personal learning plan for the next steps for you. I mean, sometimes it's very hard to know what those next steps will be. For instance, if you're an asylum seeker, you don't know, will you get your asylum, will you get your status, you know, next week, next month, next year? It's very hard to predict. So you can still, though, make some plans, some qualified tentative plans for what you might want to do next. So the tutors will help you with that. They will review and give comments on any feedback or any personal statements or applications you make. I want to emphasize, though, that the tutors are volunteers, right? They're not paid or anything. So they can't give you their whole time. They are working and studying themselves. Many of them are PhD students, for instance. Some of them are staff members at universities. So, but they really like helping with the Olive program. But I just want to just give you a heads up. They are volunteers, so they don't have indefinite time. They will probably check in with you every couple of weeks by email just to see how things are going with the classes. And then also after the classes, how things are going. And they may also set up meetings with you on Zoom. In most cases, they won't be in the same places that you are. I mean, you may not know this, but the group of people online now are from very different places in the UK. Quite a lot are from Bristol, from London. I saw someone who's from Leeds. And there are people from even, I think there are some people from Scotland in this group as well. So obviously we can't make it that there is always a tutor just next door to you that you can meet with. So we don't suggest that you're going to have in-person meetings with your tutors, but you may have Zoom meetings with your tutors like this one, but 1-to-1 or 1-to-2 probably actually. Okay. So I just want to now go on to the guidelines for the Olive program because we want everybody to be working in the same way and agreeing on the same principles. Like most of these principles are just ordinary principles of how you ought to behave, and one ought to behave anyway. You know, so the first principle is that we are all going to respect each other. And even if we are different and we have different opinions, we're going to be respectful of all those different opinions. And that when we are online doing these sessions, the classes, we are going to put your hand up, or you're going to use the reaction button to put your hand up, just instead of just coming off mic usually and just speaking, because then it can get very confusing if lots of people are speaking at the same time. We are not asking people to give any personal information, just to choose a name that we can refer you by, rather than just, you know, iPhone or something. It's nice to have a name. That's it. We don't ask any other information about anybody. If you do hear any information about anybody in this class or in the whole program, please keep it to yourself. You know, it's not information to share with other people. If any information comes up, you know, it's so that the word for that is keep it confidential. Okay, if any information comes up. So just use your first name. You don't need to use a second name. You can even use a nickname, you know, a name your family uses or a name you like. It doesn't even have to be your real first name. You definitely don't need to use your second name. If you have questions that are not about university and education, then we are not so helpful. Okay, we don't know many things. We don't have legal training. We don't know about health and mental health issues, really. We don't know about your own area where you are staying and what facilities are there. We can sometimes help you find out. I'm just saying that so that you are aware that if you ask us those kinds of questions, we will probably just refer you to somebody who does know about those things, because we are not the people. So I remember one year somebody was asking a tutor, can you get me a dentist? And the tutor was like, I don't know how to find you a dentist. But she found a place that could find a dentist for that person. Okay, so, but we're just saying we have limits. We are mostly specializing in issues around education and especially university. If you do need information about other things and you haven't asked your tutor, you can also email us and we can refer you to someplace else. But we probably won't be able to help you directly. So then we also have to talk to you about what is called safeguarding. That is, if there is any harm that we hear from you, that there is any harm happening to you, any bad things happening to you, we would need to tell somebody else about that. You know, if you told us, for instance, that you were in physical danger, that somebody was going to attack you or something, then we would have to share that information. That's a legal requirement for us. It's called safeguarding. So if you tell us something about you being in danger in any way, then just be aware that we then have to find some help for you and to refer you. We can't just keep that confidential. If you tell us something bad is about to happen to me, we have to do something about it. Okay. if something like that does happen, this doesn't really often happen, but if something like that does happen, that you are in a lot of danger, and you can't contact us, or you don't have anybody else to contact, then we need to tell you, obviously the emergency services that you can access if you are in any danger of any kind. And that is to telephone, the danger line, let's say the helpline, which is 999. The emergency line in the UK is 999. And they will ask you, usually they will ask you, the first question they ask you is, do you need help with a fire? Do you need the police? Or do you need an ambulance? That is, do you need medical help? If you have a mental health crisis, that is, if you have a very difficult mental problem, a lot of anxiety, depression, if you think you are feeling very upset, that your world is falling down, difficult things are happening in your head, then there is also an emergency mental health line, and I've put the link here for urgent mental health help. Okay. And as well, similarly, there is a service called the Samaritans that you can ring for free any time of the day or night. And you can see the number here. Sorry, I've lost it. 116123. They also have local offices, so there will always be somebody, actually in your town or city, even if it's quite small, there will be a small Samaritans office with people on the telephone all the time, 24 hours a day. So, and they will talk to you for as long as you want. That's the other thing. If you ring them at 2 a.m. in the morning, they will talk to you till 5 a.m. in the morning. So if you need some help, they are always going to be there. So I'm hoping that you're not going to be in these kinds of situations, obviously, but because, being a asylum seeker, being a refugee, being a migrant is often a stressful situation, then we're just giving you these recommendations just so that you know about them. And these will be on the slides, so they will come to you on the slides later today, I think. Okay, well, we still have good time. So at this point, what we'd really like to do is have some introductions from you, where if you are comfortable to do this, you either in the chat or you come off your mic and just speak to us and say what brings you to Olive, what you hope to get from the program, and any other questions that you have. So why are you coming to Olive? What would you like to get from Olive? And what questions do you have about Olive? Is there anybody who would like to ask us a question, or indeed tell us why they are here, or what they would like to get from Olive program?
Hi.
Hi, is that Samia?
Yeah, Samia.
Hi, Samia. Hi.
Yeah, I'm actually a physiotherapist from my country,
Okay.
and I've been here from like 3-4 years, and I do want to study in the masters to just upgrade my education, and so that like I could serve here just like a physiotherapist, as I was working in my country as a physiotherapist in the hospital. And I also want to get a good score in IELTS, like around 7.5, because I need HCPC registration here.
Right.
And for that, I need IELTS 7.5, and that's my goals.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and I heard Olive about from the breaking barriers, because I am in contact with them from very long, breaking barriers. So they have a very good team, and I've been in the connection. So when I was about to being with in them in the classes, like just to start the classes, and they were being registered me for everything, even for the IELTS test. But just on that stage, I was being pregnant with my first baby. I have 18 months old son. So
Congratulations.
yeah, so that's got a little bit delayed. So it's now the time of stage that now I can do my studies and I can do my IELTS. So now I heard about Olive from Breaking Barriers.
Great, thank you so much.
That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. See, I think if you don't mind, Samia, that is a very good example. Samia is a very good example of someone who was in the UK and then things happen in your life, like babies, you can't immediately
Yeah,
be
yeah,
the next step.
exactly.
You have to wait for your baby to be ready
Y-
and you to be
Yeah,
ready. You can't just go
yeah, and
straight.
like I was very passionate about my profession in my and because I was a working lady in my country and I did work in the hospitals and everything. And obviously, when I came to UK and then the asylum stage and then being a refugee, it's not very easy to just start up with your studies and just and although, as I told you about the HCPC and everything, if you're not clear about these things, if you have not that things, so you cannot get your profession, you cannot update your things. So that's my goal. So I'm very hoping that I could learn a lot from the Olive and Olive tutors or
Okay.
any others, like they could help me in
Well, I hope
processing my
so.
things.
I hope so, definitely.
Yeah.
So that is another point Samia has made also, that whether you are having babies or not, being an asylum seeker and a refugee in the UK is difficult, and it is going to take some time. This is what Dr. Amir always says also. You have to have some patience. It's going to take some time to get where you want to go. You just have to let it take that time, because you can't do everything at once. And another point that has come from Samir's contribution is that when you have already a professional qualification and a background in a profession. So what I mean by that is something like being a doctor, a teacher, an accountant, something that is actually a profession, not just having a degree in maybe biology or a degree in business or a master's in history or something. But if you have a profession as well, then there is another organization which she has worked with called Breaking Barriers. I will send the link to Breaking Barriers after this meeting. And Breaking Barriers works to translate your professional qualification and experience to the UK. So that would apply, for instance, for medical professionals, for, like I said, accountants, for teachers, and so on. You don't have to start and re-qualify with everything here. You may, like Samir said, need to do some extra course or something, because the situation in the UK is a bit different from in other places. But you can also work with this very good organization, Breaking Barriers, to translate any professional qualifications you have from your country to the UK. So in Samir's case, you're going to do some of that, and then the other part is the English, because especially for medical professions, but also for other professions, you have to have a good level of English, and they often want to see an IELTS test or some other test sometimes. So Olive can help with that. As I said, it's not going to be the whole of an IELTS training, but it's going to be an introduction to the IELTS training. And for some people, it will be helpful, to push them to the level that they need to go to, which for Samir is level 7. That's the level for a lot of masters and professional qualifications. Sometimes for a degree, you can have a level 6. For a foundation year, which somebody mentioned earlier, you might need like a level 5.5 in IELTS. I think somebody in the chat, Abbas, asked about other qualifications like Duolingo or other English qualifications. And Abbas, that depends on the university. You have to arrange with every university, negotiate with every university and every different course what they will accept in terms of English, if they will take something other than IELTS. Anyway, Samir, thank you. That was a very helpful introduction. Good to meet you.
Thank you so much.
Is there anybody else who would like to tell us why they're here, what they hope to get from Olive, and anything they want to know about the program? Fran, were you going to say something?
Yeah, if I already had done my IELTS a couple of years ago and I got band of 6, will I still have to go through the English in this course, or should I focus more on the pathway one?
Okay, well, good question. You probably know that IELTS tests, when you get the result from the IELTS test, it is supposed to last for 2 years.
Yes.
And they will ask you to redo this again. However, if you apply to a university and you say, okay, it was 2 years ago and 1 month or something, sometimes they will say, okay, fine, that's okay. So you can talk to the teacher about it. I would suggest going to the academic English IELTS class. First of all, so you can talk with Jan about whether you need to do the test again. And second of all, just to kind of update and refresh your IELTS training.
Okay. And it's within the Olive program, yeah?
Yeah, those classes are, but the test is not. We were saying earlier, we can't fund everybody to do the IELTS test, unfortunately. It's too expensive.
Okay.
And, we also want to work with people who are not necessarily doing that IELTS test. So we don't want to only be working with people who are about to get 7 on an IELTS test. It's because it's not very fair, So Jan, in Jan's classes, there will be people at different English levels. And she is prepared for that. She will be giving out some exercises, some English exercises that you can do at a more introductory level and that you can do at a high IELTS level. So there will be possibilities for working at different levels within that class.
So that will still determine our English level by the end?
I mean, she is not going to give you a test. However, she does recommend some practice tests that you can do.
Okay.
And if you do those practice tests, then you will get a good idea of your level. Let me just go to the chat to see if I'm missing anything. Oh, hi, Alice. Alicine has arrived. Nice to see you. Great. Abbas has asked about Duolingo. It's easier and cheaper. Is it better to have a course in it? Well, it's quite easy to do the Duolingo courses online, Abbas. But and they're free. You can check out Duolingo trainings online. But IELTS is difficult to get training in online because free. Most IELTS training is you have to pay for the training. So that's why we do these courses. This is a short one, but why we do IELTS courses that are free, because even for the training, you normally have to pay. There are some possibilities for more IELTS training, and at the end of this, we will provide them to you, which are run by an organization called the Workers' Education Association. They're also online. So we will provide those training links to you. Maybe I will even provide them this week so that you can take a look. Okay, Mohammed Tarak is asking, can I take another course after completing this course? Do you mean another, you can take any course, well, you can do anything that we are providing, Mohammed. We were talking earlier about what courses we will continue to provide. We will continue to provide some occasional seminars and classes throughout this academic year, and you're welcome to come to those. They will be, the announcements for those will be sent out. So you will have announcements about those other classes. Let me just see, you have a good morning here. Oh, that's from Alicine. Fatu, do people with a degree from the UK need IELTS? No, Fatu, you are fine if you have a degree from the UK. That is a degree it's done in English, and so it's fine. That's accepted. That should be fine. Anybody else like to talk to us about why they've come to Olive, or what they hope to get from Olive, and what you would like to know about the program? Just introduce yourself if you would like to.
I'm sorry, maybe you have already spoken about this in the beginning, but for how long will this course go on? Okay,
this course is just for 4 weeks.
I see, okay.
Just for 4 weeks. At the end, we may have another session, which will be like presentations. If you would like to do that, you're welcome to do that, just to practice your English presentation skills. We often do that right at the end of the course. So we'll open that up for a 5th week. After that, there will be some additional classes, for instance, a class on writing applications. And then there will be some information sessions from different universities where they present what they offer for people who are coming from refugee and migrant backgrounds when they go to university. Just going back over the chat. We have a lot of medical professionals here. We have Fazila, who's a doctor. We have Fatu Sawa, and then we have a dentist, Wasim. Another physiotherapist. Sinan is also a physiotherapist. Okay, great. Are some of you guys coming from the Breaking Barriers program? Definitely Samia is. Okay, yeah. So I don't know how your experience of Breaking Barriers has been, but for most people, I think it's been very useful, and we will recommend it to the other students on this course who might not have heard about it anyway. Alasine, you came in a little bit late. Is there anything you want to ask? I think Michael also came in a bit late.
Yes. Hello, Corinne.
Hi.
Yeah, what I really wanted to ask is regarding the reference books for IELTS. We know in the internet there are hundreds of books
Yeah.
for the preparation of IELTS exam, but we really need the best guidance books.
You know, this is where Jan is going to be your best help, Michael. I would prefer to leave it to Jan. She is the expert on this, and she will be here tomorrow morning, and definitely she will be able to tell you the best. She will be able to tell you the best print books and also the best resources online that we have available, that we know about. So I would definitely ask her that question. Jakob, very good question. First of all, I want to say thank you. And then, is it possible that we need to have exercises after every class? Well, yes, Jan does give you, after every class, she will recommend to you things that you can do before the next class. Yes, if she doesn't do that, please ask her, but she usually does, I think. So she will give you, first of all, you will get all the materials from her class, and then also recommendations or homework, if you like. I'm not sure that Amir does this for his class. Amir is here, I think. So Amir, there's a question about exercises after classes.
Good morning, Corinne. Yes, so most of the time I give people some, usually links and some websites to go and search for some information, prepare themselves for the next session, basically. So that's all I expect people to do between the sessions.
Great. Okay, thank you, Amir. That's great. I'll just stop sharing my screen now so we can just see everybody. Here's Amir. Welcome, Amir. Nice to see you.
Thanks, Corinne.
We're just getting questions from people here. Any more questions people want to ask at this point? Hi.
Hello.
Hi. Do you have a question?
I'm just joining in, so I'm just following up first to know what is going on.
That's excellent. I mean, Alicine, I think that's a great reason for doing this. You know, you are just finding out, thinking about the future a bit. You don't necessarily think, oh, I'm going to take an English test next week or something. I think that is exactly what Dr. Amir's classes are like. You know, they will give you ideas for the future, expose you to what might be involved. Very good. Nice to hear from you.
Okay.
You might need to Okay, well, we have 10 minutes before the first class with Dr. Amir begins. So I think we can perhaps take a break at this point. If you do want to add any other questions, do so in the chat, but otherwise we will stop recording now, and then Amir will start his class. Will you be starting at 10 or a little bit past 10, Amir?
I probably 10.
Okay, great.
Let's give people 10 minutes of break and then we start 10 o'clock.
Excellent. All right. So do be back right on time at 10 o'clock. So Amir will be starting then. Thanks, everybody. If you log out, the same login will bring you back to this room. But you can also just put your camera and your camera off and your sound on mute if you want. How are you, Amir?
I'm good. How are you doing, Corinne?
I'm good, thank you. Yeah.
It's good to see you after a few months.
Yeah, I know, it's been a while. We have about 60 people registered in total. And I think there have been about, at one point, there were about 25 people in this room. So more.
That's fine, because we are going to record the session, and then you can send the link and then the slide deck to the rest of the.
Absolutely. Is the co-hosting working for you now? I just made you co-host, so I just want to check.
Yes, I can see that I'm the co-host. Yes, thank you.
Did I stop recording?